Hello, all my happy people. How's everybody doing? All my little happy froggies. As you see, I kind of changed the background a little bit. It was starting to look a little juvenile. I'm still not happy with it, but we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. You're back in Cassie's Corner, and I am Cassie. Thanks for being here. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you will be notified when I drop a new video. The comments and the likes and the subscriptions lets YouTube know with their rules and such that I have viewer interaction, and they'll recommend my videos a little bit more. Maybe I can reach out to other people. Here we talk about depressive behaviors and anxieties and how we can control our minds in our thinking, in our opinions, in our everyday life, so that I think my light just went off on my frog. Sorry about that. So if you noticed anything different, that little frog behind me was kind of lit up and it kind of went out. I miss the trash can. My hair's wet. I'm having a crazy day. Forgive me. I'm in a good mood. I have to. It's one of those days. I hope everybody is in a better mood than I am. I hope that you're excited about it being Friday, and I hope that you have wonderful, wonderful, happy plans for this weekend. It is supposed to be awesome, I think. Here, it's supposed to be up to 60 degrees again today, so I'm kind of excited. I'm hoping that all this, whatever I'm going through, I hope it bypasses me in a little bit, and that I will be alright. But I still feel like I need to come to you and tell you that your depression is not permanent. It really is not permanent. Your sadness is not permanent. I know you're sad. I know it's there. I've been there. I've done this. I did it for many, many years, and I was just tired of it. And it wasn't like one day I woke up and everything was gone. That was not how that worked. There is no quick fix. There is no instant gratification as far as depression is going. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of practice. It takes some hard mental work, not work like not labor work, just a lot of mentality needs to go into it. And when you focus with that, you kind of don't have time for anything else. Just like your sadness has wiped out your energy and has wiped out your motivation, all of that. But when you're working with your mental state, it kind of wipes you out. So it takes a lot of hard work, and a lot of it has to depend on you. It depends on what you are going to do, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to focus on, what you're willing to work with. That helps you. Anything I say could really go over your head and not make sense. And I know that some of what I say, you may be sitting there rolling your eyes, because trust me, I was there once. I have had people tell me, well, think differently. What? You want me to? Okay, I'm just going to pass this button and I'm going to be okay. Everything is going to be fine. But there's actually something to that, but it's bigger. It's bigger than having to just a different thought. It is so much bigger than just having a different thought. You have to really dig deep down inside yourself and figure out what it is that you want and what you want to accomplish. With all that, I am going through the book day by day. Today we're on February 6th. We're on the 37th day of the year of the book of Stoics, the Daily Stoics. Now, Stoicism is a theory that the ancient Romans and Greeks would celebrate amongst themselves. They would write letters to themselves, or they would write letters to other people in the Stoic society, and let them know what works best. This was a way that they felt like, okay, say you're at war, but you're only at war for a certain type of land. And you want it, but your opponent wants it too. Remember, okay, I said opponent. I did not say enemy. Your opponent wants it too. So this is a must as far as your two sides are concerned, as far as you and your opponent's side are concerned. This is very much needed. You need to win this war so you can get this type of land, whatever it is that you're looking for. Instead of maybe your opponent's coming at you and saying, defiling your character, or calling you names, or spreading lies and things like this. The Stoics thought it was just better just to have that opponent as an opponent and not so much an enemy. They could say whatever they wanted to, but we're not going to get riled up over it. We're not going to worry about it because we know what is true. We're just going to stand back and we're going to handle this with as much peace and as much dignity that both sides, I hit my microphone again, that we can have. So we can, when we end this peacefully, this opponent will no longer be my opponent. With whoever wins this war, they can win it, we can win it, but we've at least got to concentrate just on the fight. Okay? We're not going to worry about the existential stuff that they're, let them get riled up with us. Let them call us names. Let them do whatever, but we're not going to go that low, and we're not going to waste our energy on things that don't matter. They're calling us names. Okay, so call us names. But we're going to sit back and we're going to strategize about this war, and we're going to win with everybody's dignity intact. And in that way, they were also very unpredictable in their behavior, because people knew they weren't getting riled up and getting mad, but what were they going to be like on the field? Were they weren't using that anger, or any type of anger, it seemed like, for them to come on the field and try to wipe them out. And from what I understood, the ancient Romans and Greeks, they won a lot of wars this way, by being very stoic, by being very quiet, being very calm in their character. So this, I believe, is probably the best way to deal with. They feel like if you, kind of just only deal with what you can control, and you don't have to worry about the other things. You don't try to worry about lying to get this person to look bad. Don't try to call them names. Let's be mature. Let's go out with peace and dignity and that kind of thing. So I also feel like this would be more like how I would see Jesus walking the earth when he was here, over in Jerusalem, that kind of thing, because I don't see him. I know he went through a lot. Jesus himself went through a lot of chaos, and people were calling him names, calling him a liar, telling him he was crazy because he was sitting there saying, I am the Messiah, God is my Father. And think about all the things that was coming at him. And he wasn't sitting there, gosh dang it, I told you what I said. No, he had to deal with it, knowing what he knew, and they didn't know anything. So he's just sitting back and letting them pretty much defile his character and smear his name and abuse him in the end and things like that, because he knew it was going to happen. Number one. Number two, he was perfect. It was God's plan to set everybody on the course where their sins had been forgiven. So it was kind of told to him, these people are going to hate you because you're going to tell them that you belong to the Father, and nobody's going to believe you. So I'm sure that conversation was said between, God and himself. But, he was a perfect guy. That doesn't help us because we're not. But I do have to think about, what would Jesus do? And I noticed that was repeated on yesterday's lesson, or the day before. What would Jesus do? And I remember that in the early 90s, everybody was wearing the bracelets, WWJD. What would he do? For one, we don't know, because he was perfect, but I just don't see anybody just screaming at him and calling him names, and he's jumping back in the face. See me, I'd be like the hillbilly that I am, the redneck that I am, and I'm out on the porch and I'm screaming right back, come say it to my face. And I have done it before. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. I have been very hillbilly and redneck and all kinds of stuff. But that is not a very, it doesn't even, it compromises you in a way, and it does not put you in a very good light. What if somebody, let's say, I always say, use shopping, grocery shopping, shopping for Christmas, shopping for school. I know back to school here is awful. Oh my gosh, it's so awful. So say we're back to school shopping, and I'm one mother against another mother, and I pick up something that she wants, but it's the only one there. She starts arguing with me because she wanted it too, and she's sitting there calling her names. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to realize, okay, I can get this at a later date. I'm going to just hand it over. I'm not going to fight with this woman because this is crazy. I don't know her. She doesn't know me. But she's sitting here calling me names because I was the first one to pick up what she wanted. Which one of us is off the rails? It's going to be the one that's pitching the fit and calling the other person names over a silly item that can be gotten later or in a different story. I understand that teachers, give out this list and this is what they need before school starts, but there's nothing wrong with waiting a minute or waiting a couple of days, waiting until the after school, after the beginning of the school year, before all those sales end, you get it at another time. Or you can pick up things through the year. I mean, it's just easier. It's easier to get when nobody's shopping back to school. Everybody's not in the store. It's just ridiculous. Or Christmas. I've seen people fight over Christmas items in the middle of the shop that I saw it first. It's mine. No, it's mine. I had my... Da, 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 da. What? You're fighting over an inanimate object. Is it really necessary? I guess, if you're looking to buy it and you've been thinking about it, I mean, I don't know. I see both sides. It's kind of silly to sit there and argue and raise fists in a store over an object. Duh. Just be the one that, okay, if it means that much to you and you want to start calling me names, have it. Go. Just get out of the store. Go release your tension somewhere else. So, but that's how they were. But with today's lesson, we're going to go with don't seek out strife. I kind of did read over this. I'm kind of lost with the message in this, don't seek out strife. But I'm hoping that I can read it in a way that you're not lost in the message. Don't seek out strife. I'm trying. I really am. I'm telling you, I'm not. My head's not here today. And it goes. I don't agree with those who plunge headlong into the middle of the flood and who, accepting a turbulent life, struggle daily in great spirit with difficult circumstances. The wise person will endure that, but won't choose it, choosing to be at peace rather than at war. Okay, I get that. Don't seek out strife. Don't seek out the turbulent. Don't revel in a turbulent life. I get it. I do get that. Okay, but the message. Here we go. It has become cliche to quote Theodore's Man in the Arena speech, which lionizes the one whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, compared with the critic who sits on the sidelines. Roosevelt gave that speech shortly after he left office at the height of his popularity. In a few years, he would run against his former protege in an attempt to retake the White House, losing badly and nearly assassinated in the process. He would also nearly die exploring a river in the Amazon, kill thousands of animals in African safaris, and then beg Woodrow Wilson to allow him to enlist in World War I despite being 59 years old. He would do a lot of things that seem somewhat baffling in retrospect. So, was he in turbulent waters by nature, or did he make himself go in turbulent waters? Was he looking for strife? Kinda, I think so. Theodore Roosevelt was truly a great man, but he was also driven by compulsion, a work an activity, addiction that was seemingly without end. Many of us share this affliction. Yeah, we do. We're afraid of being still, so we seek out strife and action as a distraction. We choose to be at war, in some cases literally, when peace is in fact the more honorable and fitting choice. Yes, the man in the arena is admirable, as is the soldier and the politician and the businesswoman and all the other occupations, but this is the big but. Only if we're in the arena for the right reason. So, they have no problem with Theodore Roosevelt being an awesome man. However, he did have, I would say, an adrenaline. He kind of was an adrenaline junkie, and he lived in such a way that most of his strife was of his own doing. So there are a lot of us out there like that just cannot sit still. I know I was, now that I've gotten older. Really. But they're saying, don't seek out that strife. Don't, if you are the adrenaline junkie, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. I understand being busy. I understand not being able to sit still. But is the strife really worth it? I mean, the World War One at 59 years old. Come on. I'm 55. There's no way you're going to get me out on a battlefield. Even though I can shoot. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. 59 years old. Could you imagine? I didn't know that about him. I knew that, I think it was him. Anyway. Awesome man, it seems like. He begged Woodrow Wilson for him to be in the World War One at 59 years old. Can you imagine? Anyway, I'm 55. I can't even get out of bed right. Anyway, yeah, don't be a strife seeker. Be a thrill seeker, sure, but make sure that the strife isn't. Make sure that the strife and the thrill equal out. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. Not necessarily for money. Money cannot always be an issue. Do it for good reasons. Do it. Don't add unnecessary turbulence when you can't even, life is hard. Life is hard. A lot of people are like, oh, anybody can be a mother. Anybody can be a da-da-da. Anybody can do this. Yes, anybody can if you put your mind to it. Yes, anybody can, but nobody said it wasn't hard. You know what I mean? It's hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a woman. It's hard to be a man, I'm sure. I've never been one. Just a thought. But I do feel like men have it kind of hard because they are known to be like without emotion or without, they think more logically than we women do. But that doesn't negate the fact that they maybe do have emotions in their own way. And I feel like they are put in a different box for that reason. Men don't care. You don't know what a man cares about because they're not, number one, they're not going to tell you. And number two, this is not how he's made. That's just not, he's bound to be more logical, more mathematical, more, the facts, sir, the facts, nothing but the facts. If the car's tore up, it's a fact that the car's tore up and I can fix it, or, not theory and gossip and things like that we women kind of feel compelled to do. Oh, honey, that shirt does not match those pants. I don't care. I got clothes. Men are like, I don't care. I got clothes on. It doesn't matter. I'm going to work. Or you ask them how you look, and he's going to either say things to make you feel good, or he's just going to say whatever comes naturally. Yeah, whatever. So when somebody says, later, oh, Cynthia, you look awful. That color does not matter. Well, my husband told me I looked okay. Because he wasn't, he's not that way. He's not color coordinated. So we have to think about that too. Men get a bad rap. I know I'm like a woman advocate or whatever. I'm like very feminine, very whatever. But I think men also too get a bad rap. They do. I think some of them are so misunderstood, and it's only because they see logic. They don't see anything else. Very mechanical, very, very, just let's deal with it as it comes. And otherwise, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm thinking about what I'm getting up and doing. And I'm probably getting up and going to the refrigerator and fix myself something to eat. Or I'm thinking about going to the gym. I'm thinking about pinkering with my truck or pinkering with woodwork. They're not thinking emotional-wise because there's not a need for them to be emotional. There's nothing that has made them sad. Whereas we women, we thrive on that emotional growth, and men don't. So there, if that makes any sense, and I hope it does. I do hope it does. They're just wired differently. It does not mean that they're wrong. They are thinking what is good for them. You know what I mean? They're thinking that we're all in survival mode. Life is a big, big survival game. Not so much a game, but it's like a survival of the fittest, so to speak. So men survive one way and women survive another way. And men are just wired the way that they're wired, and women are just wired the way that they're wired. Every once in a while, you will find a woman who can be wired, that could be wired two different ways. Or you can find a man that actually has a feminine side and is very proud of it, but also has his very masculine side. And that's all good and wonderful. I love them all. I love all people. I love all people. There are some men that like to sleep all day. There are some men that cannot sit still. I had a stepdad, and most of his brothers were not one to sit still during the day. They had to get up and they had to do something. They could not just sit there. And I loved my stepdad for that. I did. He just could not sit there all day. And then I think my dad was like that too. He couldn't just sit. He had to get up and do something. He was out working in the woodwork, with his wood. My dad was wonderful at woodwork and stuff. But he just could not sit still. Some men are just like that. They're just wired so differently. And then there are the men that just like to sit and watch TV and give them a beer and sleep all afternoon, then sleep all night, then sleep, a few minutes before they go to work. So, but yeah, don't seek out strife so much. Don't try to add more stress to what is already in life. We're already trying to survive. Let's not make it impossible to survive. Let's not be Theodore Roosevelt and go to war at 59 years old. I don't. Wow, that still blows my mind. I hope you're enjoying this. Sometimes I may not make sense and I go off on tangents, and I'm really sorry, but I do hope that you like and subscribe so that YouTube will use its rules and recommend my videos to other people. And sadness is not permanent. Depression is not permanent. Write your to list, what I can control and what I cannot control. Do not throw away the what I cannot control. Hold on to that, because you need to master that list. Because every time something comes up and you're like, oh, that's on the list of things I cannot control. The weather, the time, the traffic, the other people's thoughts, other people, what they say, things like that. You're going to need that, because the instant you see it, you're going to be like, oops, I can't do anything about this. No point me getting riled up over this. I can't do anything about it. And then you can focus on what you can control. Like if you're stuck in traffic, instead of just being stuck in traffic, why don't you make your phone calls? Why don't you plan your doctor's appointments? Why don't you try to listen to a podcast or something of a book that you wanted to read? Why don't you I love to sing. I love to sing. If anybody knows that about me, they know that I love to sing. So I mostly sing in the car. I have like a little concert in the car. I don't know about if I'm like in Atlanta traffic where I'm like hours and hours and hours. That probably would last about an hour. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. And I know everybody is in a hurry to get home, especially after work. I've got to get home. I've got to rush and do dinner. But think about all the other cars around you before you get mad about being stuck in traffic. Everybody is fighting their own little battle in their own little cars. They've got kids to get to. They've got to get home and maybe go to another job, and they've got to make dinner, and maybe they have a pageant to go to that night, or maybe they have a football game or something for their kid to get home. Maybe their kid is like really, really tiny, like 5 or 6 years old. Maybe she has ballet or something. All these things are very important to everybody else in their car. So before you get upset and get mad that traffic is doing this, and why me? I mean, think about all these other people that are having to be stuck in the same traffic. And somebody may have just gotten fired and has to go home and tell their family and is anxious. I mean, it's just something, it's kindness. It's thinking about others as well as yourself, and getting mad and screaming and yelling at other people that are probably having a worse day than you are is probably not the answer. I know that we have especially in the 90s, we had like here, close to where I lived, someone was shot over road rage. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't do this. So I'm kind of limited as far as my travel. I try to stay in my area, close by or whatever, but I refuse to travel back and forth between Atlanta. I can go through Atlanta. I don't know how. But I just try to keep my eyes on the road. Don't talk to anybody. Don't look at anybody. And try to just focus on my part of the driving, because if I focus on what everybody else is doing, sure, I'm getting mad. Sure, it's going to be frustrating. I hope that you find that great big belly laugh today. Laughter is the best medicine. It is not always easy to laugh, especially if you're in a sad state of affairs. But once you get that laugh, have you ever laughed till you cried? Yeah, I do it every day. I do. I find something. I laugh at my dogs. I laugh at my children. I laugh at my child. I laugh at myself. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I am not with shame. I am very shameless in that way. Yeah, find that great big belly laugh. Find somebody to appreciate. Make sure you tell them. Be kind. Once you're kind to someone, or you realize that you can make someone smile, you can make somebody happy with your kindness, it will become very addicting, and you will want to extend that to yourself. I promise you. Say your affirmations. Don't forget your daily, your morning and night journals, and write down everything that is going on, anything that triggers you, anything that makes you mad. So you'll have a record of it. For about 6 months to a year, if you are serious about overcoming this sadness that you are going through. It can be done. Trust me. I am the one that do it. I wish I can point a pointer at myself. I've done it. I have done it. This one normal, common, everyday chick has done it. So I know it can be done. I promise. And I hope everybody has a beautiful day. I hope you find pleasure in the weather. I hope you find that everything goes your way today. I'm excited that today is Friday and that everybody can go home and rest and get ready for the Monday. It comes in 2 days, people. 2 days it's going to come. So, with all that being said, I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Be kind. Be kind to yourself. Say your affirmations. Do your journals. Be nice to people. And I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.